Welcome back, folks. DJ here again. Very welcome you are, each and every one of you. I love to see you all. Don't forget to comment at the end. Press the like button if you do like it, and don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny, nor a cent, not even a rupee. It's totally free to subscribe to this channel, so why not? It helps me. Okay, what we're going to talk about today, and it is breaking news. Yes, released last night from by the government. Prime Minister Sir Kid Starmer has announced the government will launch a national inquiry into the grooming gangs, those rape gangs, and the scandal it causes. Despite resisting calls for many months, the U-turn by Starmer is the result of a damning report by Baroness Louise Casey, and it means he's got no option but to say yes because it's been leaked, and it's devastating. So he's got no option but to say yes to a national inquiry, and it's massive. It goes back on his words that just a few months ago, when he said calls for a national inquiry were far right wing nonsense, that the people were jumping on the far right wing bandwagon, and now so is he. It comes after the government commissioned a review into grooming gangs by Baroness Louise Casey, as I mentioned, which has recommended a national inquiry coordinating a series of targeted local investigations. Casey's report is due to be published in full next week. Well, this week now, if you start the week on the Sunday, which I do. The Prime Minister told reporters as he travelled to the G7 summit in Canada, "I have read every single word of her report, and I'm going to accept her recommendations. That is the right thing to do." He's boring, isn't he? Since the scandal became a point of fierce political discussion earlier this year, the government has repeatedly insisted there's no need for a national inquiry, instead launching 5 locally led investigations, which were whitewashes. Okay, the Prime Minister had previously argued another inquiry would delay justice for the victims of the grooming gangs, the rape gangs they should be called, shouldn't they? Saying the government wanted to get on with implementing the recommendations of the 2022 inquiry into child sexual exploitation. Issued 2022, the last inquiry, still not a single. There was 20 recommendations, not one has been acted upon so far. So much for officials' complacency, so much for their caring of these victims that were tortured and raped and abused, and I can't go into that. It's such a from the start, I have always said that we should implement the recommendations we have gotten. That was the Prime Minister. From the start he said, well then why didn't he? He said that to the reporters. From the start, I have always said that we should implement the recommendations we've got. But we didn't. I have never said we should not look again at any issue. Really? Really, Sir Kid Starmer? Really? I had wanted to be assured that on the question of any inquiry, and that's why I asked Louise Casey, who I hugely respect, to do an audit. Yeah. Caught you unawares, didn't it, her audit? She didn't whitewash. Pressed on the detail of the inquiry, the Prime Minister said, it will be statutory under the Inquiries Act. That will take a bit of time to sort out exactly how that works. And we will set out that way in an orderly manner. So he's going to delay it a bit. Debate around tackling grooming gangs, rape gangs, raged earlier this year after tech billionaire and ex-platform owner Elon Musk, remember him, was with Trump, wasn't he, for a while, began attacking Sir Kid Starmer and his government, accusing them of being complicit in the scandal. Both the Conservatives and Reform UK have repeatedly called for a national inquiry into these grooming gangs, these rape gangs, and Starmer has previously accused the Conservative leader Kimi Bennock of jumping on the bandwagon by calling for a far-right investigation, which now he's agreeing to. He's always doing these U-turns, isn't he? And I might go into that a bit later. The Conservatives have tabled an amendment to the Crime and Policing Bill that was due to be voted on in Parliament next week, calling for the government to set up a national inquiry within 3 months. So Kemi Bennock is saying, I'll give you 3 months and the inquiry should be instigated. In response to the announcement of the statutory inquiry, Bennock said Sir Kid Starmer doesn't know what he thinks unless an official report has told him so. Told him what to think. She goes on, just like he dismissed concerns about the winter fuel payment and then did a U-turn. Just like he needed the Supreme Court to tell him what a woman is. He's led by the nose to make correct decisions. That's what Kemi Bennock said. I must agree with her. Don't normally. I've been repeatedly calling for a full national inquiry since January. It's about time he recognised he made a mistake and apologised for 6 wasted months. Kemi Bennock again. What about Nigel Farage? Yes, the Reform UK leader Nigel Farage said, this is a welcome U-turn. A full statutory inquiry done correctly will expose the multiple failings of the British establishment. I repeat, he said, done correctly, not a whitewash. It's time for victims to receive the justice they deserve and for perpetrators to face the full force of the law. Now, the inquiry is expected to call for a judge-led inquiry into grooming and sexual abuse of young girls across the country, mainly by groups of men of Pakistani origin. Tory leader Kemi Bennock said Sir Kid Starmer doesn't know what he thinks unless the official report has told him so. Just like he dismissed concerns about the winter fuel. Now, I've gone through that already, haven't I? So I'm not going to go through that again. What I would say is this is breaking news. This is immense news. He's going to at last agree to a formal, legal, statutory inquiry into the rape gangs that have operated from the 90s up to now. Now, it's not covering right up to now. The 7 Pakistani men that was found guilty last week did their crimes up to, I believe, 2007, I believe. There's some others coming up for crimes up to 2014, but that's 11 years ago. Even the latest inquiry is 11 years ago. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. We've got to get a hand on this because it's thousands, multiple thousands of young girls, and there's been some boys. And it's not just white girls. We keep hearing about white girls being raped, and that is terrible. But the Sikhs and the Hindus have complained of their girls being abused and raped by Muslim men. Now, they don't seem to have as much freedom to be out as much as white girls, that's true, but they are being attacked as well. And there is a wonderful Sikh organisation that is protecting all Hindu and Sikh girls and white girls as well. Yes, they are not dividing the Sikh organisation, wonderful organisation, started up north. They are protecting our girls. What about us? Are we doing our bit? Well, certainly our governments and our councils and our social workers and our police haven't been doing their bit. Certainly not. Let's hope they will in future, and that this inquiry will blast the lid off the containment, because yes, it's been contained, it's been hidden, and it's been a political viewpoint. It started off with political correctness, that awful term, that awful actions that we chose to follow in Britain. I remember I was a teacher and a lecturer, and I remember I couldn't call a blackboard, even though it was painted black. And so we had to call it a chalkboard. And it was strange, because when we went more modern, and I was at the university in central England at the time, I was ordering new conference room or boards which would circle, well, it's a square room, but they would go surround the front and sides of the room, and I ordered whiteboards. Yes, whiteboards with marker pens. It was okay to say whiteboards, but not to say blackboards, because it was politically incorrect. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. And this diversity and this wokeness and this... no, I'm not going to say anymore. Stay with me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Get your news from here. Help me out. Make your comments and press the like button. Subscribe. I need more subscribers for me to continue. So until the next time, and I will come back a bit later on today. See you, and be safe, be good, and goodbye from DJ. Bye.